Hello everyone, it's Gogeo Prime here with a little video, and today we're going to be taking a look at Combiner Wars Cyclonus. Now, this is a figure I picked up at TF Nation a couple of years ago. It wasn't a figure I was particularly interested in getting, to be honest, at first, but he was really, really cheap when I found him, so I thought, what the hell. And I've gotten him and a couple of other Power of the Primes figures since then, which are combiners as well, and just try to make my own little combiners with them. So we'll run through the figure's vehicle mode, robot mode, combiner mode, and we'll also do some size comparisons as well at the same time. So first off, the vehicle mode. As you can see here, Cyclonus is the atypical big purple space superiority fighter. Nice shades of purple, black, gray, thrown in there for good measure. From the top, it looks really, really good. It looks a lot like Cyclonus. However, once you flip him upside down, you have all the robot kibble. You've got the arms, the legs, you can even see the head in there a little bit. But, okay, it is what it is at the end of the day. It's not brilliant, and the Cyclonus that came after it, the Earthrise version, is a vastly superior mold. And all that jazz, but it's still I think it's a nice looking fighter mode at the end of the day. It's very reminiscent, at least from the top down, of the G1 version of Cyclonus. Doesn't come with any landing gear, does it? Yeah, no, it does have a landing gear, which you can put there, but in all fairness, you don't really need it, and you can see the landing gear here on what makes up the combiner chest element as well. It does come with a couple of accessories. You have this cannon piece thing here, which does come apart like so. So you can use like one piece as a shield and then one as a blaster. I just tend to keep them as one giant thing. And this will plug into the 5mm port underneath there. So then he does have a giant laser cannon sticking out from the front. You can also remove these two fins here to function as hand weapons or just be on his arms in robot mode, but I'll show you those when he's fully transformed. But all in all, yes, it's a nice jet mode from the top down. From the side, however, and below, you do have a massive amount of robot kibble, but, you know, that's just the way it is at the end of the day. So I'll pause the video, I'll get him transformed into robot mode, and then we'll do some size comparisons. Okay, so here we have Cyclonus now in his robot mode, and I have mixed feelings about this robot mode, as the same as like I had with the vehicle mode. Now, obviously, this version of Cyclonus is made to be three different things: the robot, the plane, the combiner. And the robot mode, I think, does suffer a little bit for that, but I think that's true of any combiner robot from this era in time. The head sculpt's okay. They could have made these horns a different color, because in the cartoon series, his horns were silver. No, they weren't. They were the same color, but they could have done something a little bit better. There is another version of this toy, which is the Takara mold, which came in a big box set as Grand Galvatron, which has much better paint applications than this one. With this one, they just went straight with solid purple, silver, and black a little bit. One other problem that this figure does have is the chest plate section here, which is meant to come up and down when you're transforming him. The pin is loose, so it does pop out constantly. I've tried to fix it somehow, but it just doesn't want to work. It's not too bad. There's a fair bit of jet kibble on the back, but all in all, it's an okay representation of Cyclonus. I mean, Cyclonus is my favorite Decepticon, but this is an okay representation of him. Articulation-wise, you've got movement at the shoulder, which you're going to have to move his wings back all the way to get the full motion of a 360. It does have motion at the elbow as well. There is no hand articulation in any way, shape, or form. These are just molded on to these flapped bits here. The head is on a ball joint, so it can go a little bit up and down like that, and it does go from side to side. Mine has developed the odd occasion now of actually coming off in half and popping up as well, which is quite nice. Legs, can go forward. They can go back that far. That's it. The backpack stops it from going any further. Does have movement at the knee, again, as part of the transformation process more than anything. And there is no foot articulation in any way, shape, or form. So that's the robot mode. It's not the greatest in the world, I'll be brutally honest with you. I think in some ways, the previous Cyclonus toy, the Universe version, was a better toy. It was certainly better looking in robot mode and definitely better looking in vehicle mode. But like I say, this toy is meant to be a combiner, so it suffers from that problem, at least at this point in time when this figure was made, of how do you get one figure to do so many different things. Just for a few size comparisons, here he is with Earthrise Cyclonus. A great figure. I love this figure. Mine is yellowing a bit in places. It's annoying, but there you go. But again, this is bigger than the Combiner Wars version. Here he is with KO SS86 Optimus Prime. Here he is with Transformers Cyber Starscream. And finally, here he is with Crasher. So, I'll just get him transformed again into his combined mode, and then we'll take a look at him in that mode. Actually, just before I do get him into vehicle mode, a couple of things I did actually forget to go through on this robot mode. The cannon does fit into his hands like so. You can have it either with the shield attachment or not without the shield attachment. I would have it without if you're doing it in this version, because otherwise the cannon is just insanely long. And also the fins can also fit into his hands as well, like that, and then they're kind of like little daggers for him to use too. But aside from that, that's about it for this guy. Okay, so here we have Cyclonus now in his combined mode, or ready to go into his combined mode anyway. And again, I have to admit, this is probably the robot's or the toy's strongest alternate mode. They clearly sacrificed a lot for the vehicle mode and quite a bit for the robot mode. But here I think it does shine through. Now, like I said, there's another version of this figure which was released under Takara called Grand Galvatron. I can't remember what they called this particular one, probably Galvatron something. But it is meant to look like Galvatron, basically. With the head sculpt. Again, I just wish they'd added a bit more detail to the robot head in regard maybe to paint applications. But you can see from the chest section as well, particularly with this bit here and this bit here, they're trying to make it look like Galvatron. I think in the storyline for this character, he was possessed by Galvatron or something that made him become this, essentially, the combiner. Everything does kind of tuck away. You got the wings here, the nose cone section here. So his arms end up becoming his legs, and his legs end up becoming this whole chest section. In all, I can't really complain too much about this combined mode here. It looks pretty good. And just as a size comparison for this, you know, that's how big he is in the combined mode compared to the Earthrise Cyclonus. So he's not small. Now, as this is a Combiner Wars Power of the Primes figure, it is compatible with all the Combiner limb figures that came in. Now, as part of those lines. Now, I particularly tend to display him with my Leo Kaiser ones because I don't particularly like the Skylinks combined mode, but I'll show that off at some point as well. So all I basically do is once you've got your limbs transformed, and I'm using them like this, so you just slide in the limbs like so. And we'll go in eventually. There we go. And last one. And there you have Combiner Wars Cyclonus. Now, I have to admit, he is quite a big bot. Again, size comparison. Move my camera back a bit. There he is with Cyclonus. And there he is with Optimus Prime. So he is, it's still a sizable combiner at the end of the day. Now, again, the Combiner Wars Power of the Primes combiners for the time were okay. You do get motion in the arms, full 360. I'm just being careful not to sort of knock anything over. You do get motion in the legs. You get motion in the elbows. So the legs on this guy, because they're on ratchets, they can go so far. It does go limp, though, once you go beyond a certain point. And he will start to, you've got some motion at the knees there as well. But yeah, it's all right. For a display piece these days, for me, it's okay. And this tends to be how I keep him on the shelf in this big combine mode. He will also take, obviously, the gun in the larger combined hands. And if I just get a more modern combiner, Superion. Oh, there he goes. I'll just get him to stand back up. He's missing an arm now, but it doesn't matter at this point. So there he is. As you can see, with the more modern combiners, they're more filled out at the legs. Chests are a lot better, but the height-wise, they're about the same. So anyway, that's my little review of Combiner Wars Cyclonus. Is it worth getting now in this day and age? No, not really, in any way, shape, or form. The Combiner Wars figures for their time were okay. They were good. They did the job. But if you are looking for a modern Cyclonus figure, this guy is the one you want to get, or one of its repaints. So if you do come across Combiner Wars Cyclonus, if he's really dirt cheap, then if you're a Cyclonus fan, you've got to have every Cyclonus, get him. But if you're just looking for a Cyclonus for the shelf, get the Earthrise. This one, it's had its day, and unfortunately its day has come and gone. So if I wasn't doing this whole Combiner Wars thing, trying to make my combiners up a few years ago, I wouldn't have bothered getting this guy at all. But I did. I got him. I like to have him on the shelf like this in the combine mode, but aside from that, that's it. He doesn't really see much action at all, really, aside from that. So yeah, not really worth getting when there are other replacement figures out there that are a lot better. But hey, let me know in the comment section what you think. Do you have Combiner Wars Cyclonus? Did you think it was worth it at the time? Do you still have him on the shelf today? Or have you upgraded to one of these? I'll do a review on him soon. Do let me know in the comment section. Thank you very much for taking time to watch the video. Hit like, hit subscribe, and have a very, very nice day.